everybody, it's me, Russ, Handyman vlog, April 1st, 2022, and today, I got a couple of appointments. Today is, as I was saying, I just did 2 bathroom fans in a, well, somewhat modern construction. The place didn't look very old. But the fans were just noisy. I guess they do that all the time. No more lubrication in them or something. But the one upstairs sounded like a Volkswagen Bug idling. That's here in the other room. So I put in 2 fans. That's all done. I quoted her 3 hours, and I did it in 2 hours. So I did it quicker than I thought. I thought it would do it. So this is one of those tasks that, using my mechanical skills, because I've never actually done this before, the ceiling fans in a bathroom. It's pretty easy. It's just a box. You pull out the box, put in a new box. In some situations, you can pull out just the fan, replace the fan motor itself. I did that task earlier, but in this case, we pulled out the whole box and replaced them with new boxes. And she bought the right size, which is great. It fits in the hole, so I didn't have to get up there with a knife and cut out drywall or anything like that. So now I'm on my way to Snohomish to put up 3 ceiling fans. And I usually quote, if the ceiling fan is in the box, I'll quote an hour and a half to do a ceiling fan, just because you have to assemble it. Like, there's some assembly required, right? You got to put all the fan blades together. It's not just like wiring a light fixture. The fans and the blade itself can be a time-consuming challenge, depending on the brand of the fan. But I usually, I quote these jobs a little longer than it might take. So I'm doing those 2, and then they have one fan in their bedroom where her husband had put the fan up and didn't realize that you don't need to use that extender arm thing, right? So it has an extender arm on it, and she's like, it's in their bedroom, and their ceilings aren't real high, you know what I'm saying? So getting out of bed is easy to whack your head on the ceiling fan, so I'm gonna fix that while I'm there. So I quoted 3 hours on this. Oh, look, don't get me started on the Bronco. I'll go there. Don't get me started. I'm much more happy at this job, by the way. I actually know what I'm making, bidding time and, doing the task and completing it, whether on time or not. I'm in control of that, which is great. But I digress. Getting busier as spring, right? The weather's starting to get a little nicer around here. It's getting warmer. And yeah, people are doing some more outdoorsy electrical tasks. I've raised my rate on mounting like TVs and stuff pretty high, so I'm up around $50 an hour to mount a TV, so I don't get many of those anymore. People aren't requesting me to mount TVs as much. I think I have 1 this week so far, but I took yesterday off. It was our anniversary. I have 2 tasks today. I'm not even going to work probably 5 hours, I don't know, all day. So I like that. I'm going to make, I don't know, $300 today. So actually I installed 2 ceiling fans, and then I fixed 2 that had this extender arm on them and made them flush mount ceiling fans. I also got this little wire from a different job, and they let me keep it. So this hanger is beautiful, because a lot of these don't come with a hanger, and so it's a lot easier to wire the wires together with that hanger than it is without it. But yeah, that was 3.5 hours. Boom. Something I wanted to touch on in this video, it's in the title, is that I'm doing a no alcohol April. So my wife and I actually agreed on this. We had a little talk about it, and how it's not that we drink excessively, like we're not getting smashed every night, right? Like we're not buying a fifth of vodka, and right, like it's just not. We're not going through alcohol like that, but we do. You know, we'll share a bottle of wine in an evening, and not necessarily the little one, you know, the bigger one, not the big Carlos Rossi jug, by the way. No, I'm talking about the, you know, the 1.5 liter or whatever it is. I mean, we'll drink one of those in an evening, or a half case of beer, light beer. Like I'm not drinking like a half case of some of these. There's really good microbrews around here, but if I drank even like 3 of some of those, you're smashed, right? There's just no way. There's a bunch of really cool breweries around here. You get Growler. You know, a Growler is about a 6-pack. Not a lot of beer, but yeah, we're both just gonna stop drinking for this month. And some of it is research. There's a lot more research coming out. After the pandemic, a lot of people drank excessively, including my wife and I. We did drink quite a bit in the summer during the pandemic, especially when I was out of work. Even when I was working, I mean, we could finish a 30-pack of Coors Light, you know, in a couple days, or a day, or, you know. And that's excessive. It's like 15 beers in one day. And sure, it's Coors Light. It's like mostly water. But at the same time, you're impaired, you know. You're numbing something. Personal numbification is something that I'm very sensitive to as a former addict. So I've been to rehab for alcohol. There's a lot of people that criticize me for still drinking today. But I do feel that I have self-control that area where I didn't used to. And this is one of the practices that I will put into play is a fast. And so a fast for the entire month of April as a cleansing of my body, right? So spring cleaning of the toxicities in my body and in my mind. So that's the research that I've been studying, is that, you know, the neuroscientists have got into this. Harvard has that app that they created. There's just a lot of really interesting data and research that's come to light about even casual alcohol use and how it slows your brain, it slows your mind, it can lead to dementia, which is something I'm sensitive to because I have dementia on both sides of my family. My mom died of Alzheimer's, so it's something I'm sensitive to, and it's not that I'm fearing dementia as much as also this new job has me the faster that I can be at using my mind, the quicker I can get tasks done and things like that. It's gonna take, and I realize this, it's gonna take a week. I'm gonna feel the difference. It can take up to 2 weeks from what I understand, and sometimes 3, before you start to see, like, it's noticeable. More people are saying that you have a noticeable difference in the way your brain works and your ability to remember things, right? Your ability to do tasks, which is what I do for a living now, right? But cognitive, like being able to recall information that is in your brain, you're able to do that better after about 2 to 3 weeks. The first week is the hardest because your body is, I mean, alcohol is one of those substances that people, you know, get physically addicted to. All right, so here's another thing. The recovery industry, and I'll call it an industry, has made it sound like it's a lot harder to kick alcohol than it actually is. Okay? Now, if you're an addict, right? If you're an alcoholic and you're going through DTs and the shakes and all that stuff, like, obviously you need medical supervision for something like that. But for most of us casual drinkers, you know, you're having 2, 3, 4 beers a night, glasses of wine, maybe 2 or 3 glasses of wine, and 2 fingers of whiskey a couple of times. This is casual drinking, and it is not as hard as I think a lot of industries, we'll call them that, make it sound, truthfully. Nikki Glaser, she talked about being a comedian and realizing that just, drinking a lot was affecting her mind and her witty. You have to use your brain, you have to use your mind quick. Being a comedian, and she's like, I'm either going to have to go back to like working retail or I'm going to follow this dream of being a comedian. She read a book by Carr about quitting alcohol forever. She doesn't drink at all anymore, and I don't think I'm going to take that route. We're going to give this a month, and see how it goes, and I'll talk about it here on the YouTube, right? I want to talk about how I feel and talk about, do I want to drink again after a month? I probably will, just because I like the taste of beer. It's enjoyable. Different kinds of beer is good. I find it refreshing. Something that Nikki Glaser said that's in the book is that, I drink it to wind down at the end of a day. And really, that's not true. Because it doesn't help you wind down. Actually, alcohol, this is proven medical fact, actually raises your blood pressure. So, but what it does do is it stifles your mind, which feels good, especially when you have a lot of stress. Your mind is on a lot of things. But there's other ways to not have to think so much. So just throwing that out there. April's spring cleaning of my mind.